Hold up. Let me fix myself here. Oh. No, I think I went the wrong way. Oh, God damn it. Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. All right. I think I'm situated here. Okay. Hi, y'all. Happy last Wednesday of September. Apollo's having a drink, as he usually does when we start this thing. Say hi to Apollo. Hi, Apollo. All right. Hi, Prince. Welcome to the show. Get myself situated here. Get all my things ready. Am I centered? Yeah, he is thirsty. He's always thirsty. Oh, my Lord. The joys of owning a big dog. You know, like Texas, a dog, everything is bigger. If you got a big dog, it's all like twice as much, 3 times as much, 4 times as much. Noise, shit, piss, hair, all that. I don't recommend it. Maybe if you had folks who would like pay for the, or if you was rich enough to actually like have a dog nanny, it might be worth it to have some big dogs, but it's just a regular single person. Oh, it's a lot of work. Maybe not worth it. Maybe just putting it out there. All right. So, welcome to the OraCola. I'm arcieoracola. I will be your guide from the universe. I will interpret the messages that the universe sends to you this evening. And all you got to do is put your question in the chat and then tell me what oracle you want to do. There's a whole list of them down in the description box, but just so I can show y'all. And by the way, it's September 29th. My God, I cannot believe it. So we got the tarot, which is my classic tarot deck that I used on the first OraCola, which was on Public Access TV. And then I got the old essential oil deck. If you want to know what kind of smells you want in your life or what kind of like essential oils you need to rub on your blister or whatever, that's your oracle. There's also the newest oracle, the Pornacle. Hey, everyone loves the Pornacle. So this one is just going to give you a dirty picture as your oracle, and you'll have to figure it out. But you have to pick a number when you type in your question between 1 and 755. I believe that's right. I think that's right. I memorized it. Yes, that is your answer. So if you do pick the Pornacle, give me that page number so I can like get on it. Otherwise, I got to get in, like talk to you, and there's a delay in the chat, and it's like boring for everybody watching later. So like, just be on top of your shit, okay? I know everybody's drunk and high. I don't care about that. But I do care that you're on top of your shit. So, moving on. Again, another oracle that requires some forethought when you put your question in. The old Revelation oracle. This is from the King James Version of the Holy Bible. Hi. Yeah, so the first thing you'll do is ask your question. Give me a number between 1 and 22. 1 and 22. Now, here's the other part. It's very important. I will have to go to that chapter in the book of Revelations and see how many verses there are. See my follow here? So once I see how many verses there are, I will announce it to you live, because we're live. We're live right now from Austin, Texas. Hi. I will say, give me a number between 1 and whatever number of verses is in that book that you picked in your original question. Very key here. So You tell me your first number, and I'll prompt you for a second number. You tap that in ASAP because nobody got time to wait around for that shit. And then I will read you that verse, and that will be your oracle. That's the Revelation oracle. And since we're living in the end times, why the fuck not? I think it's pretty accurate. So, another oracle that we have is, of course, the Magic 8 Ball. This is the one that never wants to show what it's actually saying. Anytime I turn it to the camera, which is my laptop, it just like goes nuts. So we will just have to assume that what I'm telling you is the correct oracle. There you go. So Magic 8 Ball. And then, of course, the old hat of self-care. If you just don't know what you should be doing good for yourself, then ask the hat of self-care. The hat of self-care is here to give you self-care tips that you can follow for a better life. All right. Okay, so now that I've explained all the shiz to the couple of y'all that's watching that probably already know the shiz. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. So we got to set our space. First thing we're going to do is light the sacred wood. There we go. We're going to light that sacred wood. Get all that good smelling smoke from nature all up in here. And we're going to ask the universe, we're going to invite them over. Say, yes, we got rid of the pot smell, the dog smell, the weird, funky food I cooked yesterday smell. All that's gone. It just smells like something nice. All right, so there's that. And then, of course, we always got to ring the bell. Ring the bell for service. That's how you get what you want. You got to ring the bell. Don't be a dipshit. Just ring that bell. It's kind of like a chant, I guess. Okay, and then we got our Rich Bitch Witch Spray, which we got to keep using until we use it up. We're going to spray some of that on there. And if you would like this particular protection and blessing to manifest, then of course you can always donate to the universe via me, via Venmo or PayPal. The info is in the description. It's basically arcieola for both, ARCIECOLA. Donations are always appreciated. Of course, they are not always expected. You know, I do this because it's my service to my fellow mankind, to be a channel for the universe, for y'all, for 1 hour a week. It's what I do to give back, amongst other things. So if you don't have the quid, that's fine. You don't have to give me no money, but money makes the world go round, the world go round, rah, 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 rah. Yeah, so whatever that said. Oh, I got a new cleansing tool this week. I was at the local drugstore, and they had a bunch of clearance stuff, and I just so happened to receive a UV light cleansing wand. There you go. They say don't look at it, but I think that's just like directly into it. So I'm just gonna cleanse the keyboard here and maybe cleanse the oracles. Because, of course, we could put this out in the sun for free, and we live in Texas and there's plenty of sun, but why do that when you can pay on clearance a few dollars for a magical plastic thing that takes batteries that can't be recycled to put some sunshine on your shit, some man-made sunshine? So, hi PNG, you didn't miss nothing. This is the new cleanser. It's a UV light, because you never know what kind of germs is lurking around here. Okay. All right, so I think we got our cleansing out of the way. I love the name too. It's called Nature Sprite. No, Nature Spirit. That's even worse. It's nature spirit. So it's not even like the sun itself. It's the spirit of the sun, which is a natural thing, right? Oh, yes. Yes, yes. We got to have some modern cleansing in there. And you can't exactly spray your computer keyboard with chemical disinfectant. So got to go with the old, like, fake sun. The fake sun. Okay. Speaking of spirits, I want to have a sip. All right. So it's time to open this shit up to the universe. Who's got a question? Tell me what you got on your mind, and then I will. You will pick an oracle. Tell me what oracle you want, or you could say dealer's choice. You could do that. I could just pick one for you, but it's more fun if you pick it for yourself. So pick an oracle. Tell me your question, and then I will answer it. I'm gonna be here for the next 50 or so minutes. So let's do this thing, huh? Okay. The eyeshadow is epic. Thank you. It's very shiny. You know, I feel like these lights that I have to light myself expose a lot of things that I don't necessarily want exposed on my face. But the alternative is to have a really shittily lit show. And nobody wants to see that. So we're gonna like just sacrifice our vanity for a minute. I am of a certain age, by the way, so it's natural to kind of look funny like that. But yeah, the shadow can distract from the other stuff. All right. Hi, Jake. How are you? Welcome. Okay, Prance, working on my grinder profile, but still no meetups. What should I do? Pornacle. Now, Prance, you know, I just told you have to give me a number between 1 and 755. I just went on a fucking rant about this shit. So you better put a number in that chat within 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you just barely fucking made it, motherfucker. 245. Okay. I forgot. More like, I forgot. 245. Okay, hold on. Oh, I almost turned to it. Oh, okay. Well, this looks like you need to get on Grindr and talk about, like, who wants to play with dildos kind of thing. I think that's what's going on. There's like a winged dildo, so it's like an angel sex toy that's flying into this person's, I'm assuming a vagina, but it could be a butt. You never know. It's not very specific. And then these other folks is just kind of watching it, so there's some voyeurism going on. I don't know. Maybe advertise that you're into toys and you want to watch, and then see if you catch any fish. There's your answer. Okay. All right. You know, there was another Pornacle question. Oh, we got one here for PNG. Revelation 18:8. Oh, I want to know what I can do to get excited about work. Oh, man. Everybody's having that existential crisis about work. Existential crisis about work. You know, because when you got time off, like a lot of folks had last year, not me, not a lot of folks that I know, but a lot of folks had time off last year, and they had time to contemplate their life. And you know what? A lot of them came back around and said, you know what? I don't necessarily need to work for the peanuts. I can do something different. So yeah, I feel like that was one of them years where folks just kind of like had their come to Jesus moments. Yeah, definitely need that contemplation time. So we're going to go to Revelation chapter 18. Verse 8. Let me get it in a good focal distance from my old eyes. Okay. All right. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. Okay, so if this is a work-related thing, how can you get excited about work? Maybe you need to get excited about destroying shit, like tearing it down. Or maybe you should just like get out of there because nothing good's coming your way. That's a darker verse. The Revelation has prophecy, and then there's some of the prophecies are pretty neutral, and some of them are like dark, like death and famine and just war and just terrible shit. And ugh. So if you're looking to get excited about work, I don't know. Maybe recognize that it's dark and you need to put on your armor as a demon slayer and go in there and just like tear shit up. I don't know. That's just what's coming to me. Good luck with that. Yes, it does. Oh, can't get out. Yeah, so maybe instead of like, you can't like leave the job, but maybe you can like go in there like a warrior and make a new path, like make something better. I don't know. Something like that. So, death and destruction. Go Kali on that bitch. Okay. Does anybody else have a question? If not, I will do the question that I got online that I know I saw earlier. And I think it was on Instagram. I think it's from our usual friend, Megatex. I just want to double check. Yep. Okay, Megatex. Hi, Megatex, if you're watching it later. What should I try to spice up my boyfriend and I's sex life? Pornacle, of course. Number 583. So page 583, spicing up the sex life. Now, this is the perfect oracle for the Pornacle because it's not asking anything existential or crazy. What did that say? 583? Wait. Oh, God damn it. Come back. Yes, 583. Okay. 583. Let's see what the Pornacle says. All right. Let's turn right to it. And here's another. Oh, okay. So spicing up the sex life. I think you need to do some serious Sparta role play and also get a really big dildo. And I don't care who rides it. Maybe both of y'all do, but there's some big dick energy in this picture. 100%. It's like a battle of dicks. So like the dicks are like battering rams. So I don't know, maybe some hard fucking, I don't know. There you go. There's a good image. You can take a screenshot and contemplate it. But there's your answer. That's how you spice it up. Go big. Yeah, or maybe get creative about doing new things with your students. That sounds good too, Just go in there and tear it up. Just get rid of the curriculum that's been there forever. Just like use your intuition to find out something better. Yeah. What you drinking? My usual, just some fruit juice and Topo Chico. Just a little spritzer. And there might be a little vodka in there. But, yeah, that's what I'm drinking. So, all right. Anybody else have a question? Because I got another 40 minutes to fill. And we definitely don't want to be rambling on for 40 minutes. No. I know some of y'all like it, but I'm sure the folks watching it later are not going to like it because they don't know who the fuck I am. Oh my God. I guess I could check the other social media to see if there's any questions. Didn't see any there. Let me check the other one. Starts with a fuck you. Okay. Nope. No other questions. So that means it's up to y'all. Hey. Oh, YouTube censored you. Oh my gosh. You know what? YouTube has been on a censorship tear. And I could get into that shit, but I won't because I think I see a question. So, Jake, general recommendations for the rest of the weekend. Your choice, dealer's choice. Woo, woo, woo. All right, we're going to go to the Magic Hate Ball because I feel like we need to appease Her Majesty immediately out of the gate. Just make sure that she gets, and she's being nice. Okay. It's upside down, but I think you can turn it. Let's see, what does it say? My reply is no. She's going to show her ass. Oh, she's showing her ass this time. She fucking means that shit. So, yeah, that Oracle dealer's choice did not want to answer your question. I'm so sorry. That's how it goes. Oh, Ro. Hi, Ro. Jamie Spears, Brittany's dad. Conservatorship just ended. Exciting news, but I feel like we haven't heard the end of it. Does Tarot have any advice? Okay. So, yeah, this is some saga that's been playing out for, well, I guess, since Brittany was born, because obviously her parents were very adamant that she should be a child star. Otherwise, why would she be on fucking Star Search when she was like that big, right? I feel like parents that are responsible and not fame hungry are typically, Hollywood's weird. I don't know if that's a good thing for my kids. But there's lots of parents who disagree and they choose to put their children in that MK Ultra meat grinder that is Hollywood. And poor Brit's been in it her whole life, basically. I bet, even from a toddler, from a little kid, she was in dance classes. She was doing all kind of shit. So she was always a show pony. Always. Always, always. And I don't know nothing about her beginnings, like in the late 80s when she was born, or mid to late 80s. I don't know. How old is she? She's like, is she an older millennial? I think she's an older millennial because don't Gen X, which I'm in, don't that cut off at like 1980? I don't know how they work this out. But anyway, she's in that age group. And I just remember her being a real young person. Every time I was like watching her music videos, I was like, oh, she's real young. So she's young. Her whole life has never, ever, ever really had control over anything, not one thing in her life. And if you are on her Instagram, you understand a little bit about kind of how, I don't want to say she's childish. I would say that she is stunted in certain ways. Like, she's just not had certain life experiences, and it's quite obvious, and it's sad. She's like 40 something years old. So I think this is a good thing. Like I said earlier, I think on another show, it seems like we've talked about this before. Excuse me. Poor Brittany, she's just going to have a tough time, and I'm praying for her, but I don't know. So here's a card. Here's how we can handle the news, whatever it turns out to be. Oh, the Emperor. Okay. So we can look at it like this. Let's take the positive tack. Let's just say Brittany gets control of her kingdom. And she actually does a pretty good job of it. She's not as inexperienced or crazy or whatever you want to say as people have made her out to be. And she actually ends up like doing some crazy book deal or going on some like wild tour or just becoming a very successful person on her own, making her own decisions. So we're going to like say, whatever happens, hopefully that is the answer and not the flip side of the emperor, which we all know how that can go. So, oh, she's 40. Oh my God. My God, that's makes me feel so old. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me just check in on the comments. Yep. Yeah, I mean, fuck. If I've been dancing my ass off since I was a little kid and making money hand over fist, being taken advantage of all the time, like my education stunted. I obviously have some intelligence because I can survive this long in the business. But, you know, if I have no control over my life and you get to be 40, you're like, what's it all for? I mean, that's just very depressing. I feel for her. I do. I feel for her. So hopefully Brittany will get free and build an empire. That's what we want to see. All right. Well, we're at 9:26 and nobody else has thrown out a question. So guess what time it is? Tea time. It's tea time. It's time for the tea, the arcieoracola tea from the universe. Okay. I try not to put too many political things in here because it's just so depressing. But here is something that's been on my mind lately. And the answer is, okay. I just said the wrong thing. I just cursed myself. COVID pills. So it come out that and I've been following the news like everybody. I want to stay abreast of the latest propaganda because I'm a citizen that cares. So it come out recently that Pfizer, of course, is working on pill regimen to help keep COVID at bay, in addition to the other regimen that they want you to follow, which is now on the booster regimen. So, yes, they have this. You're supposed to take it a couple times a day. It's in early trials, but it seemed to work real well, and it's just kind of like an extra thing. And they're saying it like this. This may be the way out. Not necessarily that, just the shots, but then the shots in addition to this thing, which of course makes them a whole lot of money, a whole lot. Yeah, so that's the thing. But the thing that's bugging me about this is there's pretty good evidence that there's another pill out there that does the same thing. And it's already out there, and it's already inexpensive. It's a generic. They've been handing it out in other parts of the world, but then other parts of the world are banning it. So it just seems awfully suspicious that there's already a thing that is doing the thing that the pill is supposed to do, but we're not going with that option. I don't know. I just have some questions. I have some questions about that. Oh, yeah. It is very big farming. Very big farming. I just, the thing that's upsetting to me about all this is more and more news comes out is the suppression of treatments that seem to be doing well. And not just anecdotally here or there, but like populations of people, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, whole countries are implementing certain prophylactic strategies to their people that include certain medications and certain vitamins, and they're doing pretty fucking good. I mean, there's other countries that have been going the other way, where they've been pushing a injection as the savior and other measures, social measures, if you will. and they're not doing as well. And they have said nothing about any kind of healthy lifestyle things that you can do, any kind of vitamins or minerals or other things that you can take. Nothing. It is silent about that shit. And we're not even getting into like prescription medications. We're just talking about regular shit. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. That's all I'm going to say about that, because if I say more, I can be off of the tube. Because, yes, that is the place in censorship where we are right now. So, okay. Yep. Please read up. I feel like there's a lot of things about this whole situation that are being manipulated to perhaps unpleasant means. Like, there's an agenda, and we can say it's for this or for that or whatever. There's a range of possibilities, but there's definitely a particular agenda that's quite apparent after watching this whole thing play out over the last almost 2 years now. We're coming up on almost 2 years. So, yes, I would say everyone should do some research. And if you feel compelled, please do. I don't think you should listen to that propaganda piece that came out on CNN a few days ago that said doing your own research is a dangerous thing. What the hell is that shit about? Oh my fucking God. They basically told you to shut up and listen to what we tell you and don't think about anything else. That is what they fucking said on fucking CNN. And I am like, oh, don't you even go there, bitch, because you know what? You haven't outlawed reading yet. And while I can still read shit. And I can come to my own conclusions. So don't you tell me I cannot do my own fucking research. That pissed me off. Yes. All right, sorry. Let me get back into doing my show. What kind of medicine hi, Philip. What kind of medicine do the spirits recommend to remedy Texas politics? Essential oils deck. Okay. This is probably a good use for this deck, because it's given you a lot of natural things that you can consult, and plants have a lot of wisdom. Plants have a lot of medicine in them. I've always taken issue with the narrative, and here we're going to go back to a narrative because it's a narrative, that consuming animal flesh is wrong because they're sentient beings and they understand life and death. Plants do too, bitch. So I'm not saying that you should or should not eat a certain diet. That is a very personal thing. I think everybody should have body autonomy about that shit. But yeah, I've never taken the tack that plants are less than, So I believe plants have a lot of wisdom that they can share with us. And in fact, most of our pharmaceuticals, are derived from where? Where they come from? Yeah. So, yes, of course they feel. Of course they do. And, we're slaughtering them bitches by the billions. Nobody cares when you rip a head of lettuce out of the ground. But did you hear it scream? Did you? When you chopped the roots off, didn't you see it bleed, that little milky bit come out? Just like out of its butt, that milky bit. Yeah, I know, because I used to work in restaurants and I used to work at grocery stores, and I've seen the plants bleed. So don't tell me they don't have feelings. Okay, back to our show. Yep, you absolutely touch them, talk to them, always. They're living beings. They're sharing this earth with us. Shit, without plants, we'd all be fucking toast. We breathe opposite shit for a reason. Okay, back to the show. And survey said, fennel. Okay, I think we gotten this one before. So, fennel is It's a very licoricey, anisey kind of plant. But look at it. Just kind of look at the symbolism of it, right? So there's this bulby part, and then there's big stalks, and then there's other parts that grow out of it, like it gets fluffy out on the ends. So it's kind of tree of life-ish. I don't know. But I think what the message here is we need to find the commonalities, like this part. So there's all these branches coming up here and all these little tendrils, everything, a lot of different noise. But ultimately, they're all coming from the same plant. And I think if we're going to heal the politics, Lord help them, if we're going to heal the politics, we need to find the common ground. And that is what the man loves to distract you from. The man wants to point out the little frills on the ends and the big branches. But the man does not want you to see that ultimately in the center is all of us. We all come from the same places of needing certain things. We all, except for certain psychopaths, need this stuff. So, yes. You're welcome, Philip. I hope that you're able to execute some change. It's all about going back to the commonality. And don't get caught up in that propaganda that says you need to hate your neighbor for XYZ. It don't matter what it's about. You need to fucking get over that instinctual, because it's all psychological programming, y'all. It's all psychological programming trying to get you to hate your neighbor who probably has a lot more in common with you than you think. So yeah. Oh yeah. It's true. Psychopaths need love, but it's hard to love a psychopath. Just ask any of them's exes, or just anybody that came across them that they happen to interact with. That's a tough road, and I guess they signed up for it when they incarnated in this plane, but whew, that's rough. That is rough. All right. Any more questions for the OraCola? We got about 23 more minutes left in the show, and I am here with all these oracles ready to answer all your questions and let you know how it is. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to sit here and shuffle my cards. I find that when I'm listening to tarot readers on YouTube, when I'm trying to fall asleep, I'll just put on some rando tarot person. I love hearing the cards shuffle. And they all have good shuffling technique. My cards are not like that, and my hands are not big enough to do the good thing, but they all have tricks that they can do, and it's and it's just so relaxing. So relaxing. Oh, astrology. Okay. So I did not write any notes down this week, but we are coming into a period of time in October between the new moon and the full moon. So the new moon's going to be on the 6th, I think, and the full moon's going to be on the 20th. That's going to be some very interesting times because there's a lot of squares between transiting planets and Pluto, which is in Capricorn, late degrees. And this all ties into the United States birth chart. So there's a birth chart that's very common out there. I think it's called the Sibley Chart. And it is, oops, sorry. I'm trying to get dust. I see all this stuff on my computer and in this light. So I'm trying to dust it off. But okay. So there's a chart called the Sibley Chart that is taken in Philadelphia, 1776, in 5-ish o'clock in the evening, when supposedly the Declaration of Independence was signed. And that is supposed to be the birth chart of the United States. Most astrologers use it. There are some differing ones, but according to that particular chart, USA is experiencing its Pluto return. So Pluto return is, Pluto's orbit is 200-300 years. It's very long. So we're coming back to the place where Pluto was when the Declaration of Independence was signed. Now, it's not happening this year. It's happening in the future, but very soon. But Pluto's dancing around that degree. And in astrology, it's all about degrees. So the closer you are in, relation to each other, if the degrees are exact or whatever, the stronger the influence. So a lot of the astrology that's happening in October is going to be squaring that particular Pluto. And that because that Pluto is very close to the Pluto return degree, it may affect the U.S. in particular. So I would say just don't worry about it. Just try to keep your spirits up. There's a theory that there's multiple timelines happening on this plane, and hopefully you're on the timeline that's going to have an easy time. So just try not to worry about it, but astrology is going to be a little bit intense. So yeah, there's your answer. You can consult a lot of different folks on the internet about astrology, and they will tell you pretty much the same thing. I mean, it's not that it's all bad. There's definitely going to be some good aspects and good things happening, but there's also a lot of heavy energy. But here's the thing about squares and oppositions and anything that's considered difficult in astrology. These are all opportunities to change and to change things for the better. So think about it like that. You're welcome. Okay, we have about 19 more minutes left in the show. If anybody has a question, please put it in the chat. Tell me the oracle that you would like, and then I will answer your question. Remember, if you choose the Revelation Oracle or the Pornacle, you have to give me a number range. It's all in the description box below, and I will leave it at that. So, shall we have some more tea? Okay. Let's see what the universe wants me to talk about now. That's controversial and possibly will get me banned from this platform. Okay. All right. Oh, there we go. Survey set. Oh, yes. Here we go. So migrants, Texas border. There was all that hullabaloo recently with the Haitian immigrants coming across. So I think what most people don't realize is that the vast majority of those people who originated from Haiti seem to actually have been refugees from the earthquake a few years ago, and they had been living in South America, and a lot of them had residence cards, and they had, their thing that they had in their new country. They'd already been refugees and settled. But somehow a rumor went around saying, hey, if you go to the border, they're letting anybody in. You could just come on in, claim asylum, and you're done. You can get in. It's all good. And so that's what supposedly happened. Just like all these folks had been kind of in limbo in, Argentina or Brazil or wherever they ended up after the horrible earthquake, in 2000, whatever, 10 or whatever. I can't remember. They've all been like, okay, I got some cash and let's do it. So they all came up and, that's how we got a weird influx of Haitian refugees. It wasn't necessarily all from the recent trauma that they had, because they had, the president assassinated, and then they had the earthquake, and then they had the hurricane. So they had a lot of shit going on. I think we talked about it this summer. So anyway, there's that. And then plus there's all the usual immigrants that we always have. But here's the thing. Immigration or migration of folks to more prosperous countries has always happened. It's always happened. It's always going to be a thing. And the way that you go about doing it is you very much try to weed out the folks who are here to cause trouble, because there's definitely that element. But also there's a lot of legit folks who just want to settle in and have start their life fresh. Now, most countries have rules that you need to follow. To do that legally, it takes time, it takes money, it takes intelligence. You have to like stay at it. You can't just show up and get let in, usually. Like if I went to, I don't know, any other country without a passport, I just showed up at the border and was like, hey, I want to come here and live. They kick my ass right out, you know? So it's a complicated issue, but I think the thing that's very interesting, and it's been happening in Europe too, is that anytime there's a war or some kind of terrible thing going on in a country that's near a prosperous country, there's a lot of NGOs that are facilitating this pipeline of folks. And these folks get in and they become the new underclass. And the man benefits because he ends up hiring them to do the jobs that the old underclass has moved out of. Like it's a game. It's a game. It's a constant game, and it's a wedge issue, and it makes people want to hate each other. And we need to get rid of all that. Psh, psh. We need to accept that. First, the migrants are here often under false pretenses, like they've been told one thing and another thing's going to happen. And then we need to talk about the folks that need to get over the fact that there's always going to be some flux. There's always going to be some porousness. And we need to like separate out the migrant. Like we don't need to like differentiate. It's like these are good and these are bad. We just need to accept that it's going to happen and just have a way for that to happen without trauma, without putting people under like overpasses, without having children in cages. Like we need to figure that out, and we can figure that out if we put the money and the time to it. So this is a failure of our Western society. It is one of the man's favorite ways to put a wedge into a population and to keep things divisive. He benefits from it 100%. A lot of folks get like discriminated against and like have a rough time, but a lot of other folks actually figure it out and make it work. So I just think we need to reframe the entire thing and just really think about it. Really think about it. And not just go knee-jerky about whatever's going on. So let me check in with the chat. Okay, Ro, I will be touching base with some family members I haven't talked to in years. Can you provide me any advice to navigate that? Essential oil. We got another one. Yes, class consciousness. You know, accept the fact that there's going to be some class divisions, but we don't have to hate the folks below us. We don't have to hate the folks above us. If we all respect each other and treat each other like human beings. God damn it. Jesus Christ. I feel like I preach this shit all the time and nobody listens to me. Okay. Back to the family issue. It's fun when you see family you ain't seen in a long time because they all look different and you're like, who the fuck is that? I recently went to a family thing and I had not seen some of these folks in a very long time. And I'll tell you what, sometimes they change enough where you're like, what is that? Oh. And you got to like nudge your relative that you know better and like, you know, get it on the down low so you don't call them the wrong name. It's the worst. Okay. Essential oil is coriander. We had this one recently too. So yeah, coriander, which is it's a cilantro. Yeah. So it's fresh, it's clean. I love it. Some people hate it. They got that genetic thing, but it's easy to grow and it gets fluffy. And maybe it just means y'all should go eat Mexican food together and have a good time. Have some margaritas and have some salsa. And if you don't like cilantro, just pick it off the top of your enchiladas or wherever it is and just put it on the side and chit chat with the family. Yeah. Do a Mexican dinner. That's what I think you should do. Okay. All right, we got 11 more minutes. No, yes. 10 more minutes now. 10. Who's got a question? More tea? Oh my God. I've spilled too much tea already tonight. Too much. Way too much tea. Let me throw down a tarot card for October. How's that sound? Do a little tarot for October. October tarot. I know y'all love the tea, but y'all are just trying to get me in trouble. You know, it's not the same world where we did cooking good. That was a different world. Can't do that shit anymore. All right. Tarot for October, which is coming up. Survey says, ding. Ooh. Okay, the Hangman. So, not only is it going to be the Halloween month and there's going to be a lot of scary imagery around, this might be a month that is trying because we are stuck. And we're stuck in a place that we don't want to be in and we can't figure out how to get out of. We're tied up. We're upside down. We are in a place. Put it that way. However, the nice thing about the Hangman is that while you're sitting there, while you're witnessing things that you can't participate in, while you're stuck in your spot, you get to gain perspective. So October is going to be about perspective. Recognize that there are things that you cannot change. Things that are not necessarily the way you want them to be. However, you can use that time while you're there to think about things in a different way. So there's your answer for October via the tarot. 2013, I don't even know what you're talking about. Got to binge all those videos. I did not see the question. I missed it. Sorry. All right. Any questions? We got 8 minutes left. 8 whole minutes left here in this show on September 29th, 2021. No questions? All right. Very well. It is tea that you get. Tea. I think it's been a while since I did 3 teas. Okay. Oh, this one's fun. Okay. I highly recommend this tea. If you go to YouTube and you go to looking at mountain bike trails, let me tell you, there is a whole mess of folks out there building crazy roller coaster trails down the sides of mountains to ride on their mountain bikes. I did not know this existed. I don't know how the algorithm pushed this in my thing, but I watched one and I was hooked. It's better than a roller coaster POV because it goes for a while. These are actual trails down the sides of mountains. And a lot of them seem to be up in Canada, Pacific Northwest, where they got mountains and shit. But what happens is people build extra elements. So it's not just going down the trail. There's a trail, but there's also parts of the trail where they built extra shit. You got to go over a log, or you got to go around this thing, or you're going to jump this thing, or you got to it's crazy. And I would never do this personally. It is not my bag. It is not my thing. I am not going to be mountain biking any of this shit. But I love the fact that they put that camera on their helmet So you can like ride down with them and they're talking and they're like, oh my God, you know, and then just like jump in the air and then go around and then up on the thing. And then like, sometimes they'll stop and they'll be like freaked out by a thing. They'll be like, holy fuck, what is that? And then, you know, you watch them check it out and they're like, okay. And then they go back up the hill a little bit and they go get a running start and they do the thing. And so, yeah, mountain bike trails, very cool. And there's lots of really beautiful nature. So it's just fun to see how, you know, this is a thing that's good about humans. We sometimes, instead of destroying nature, we'll find a way to work in harmony with it. So in this case, we have people building, you know, things, but they're working with the landscape and they're not going off the trail. They're just like in a very narrow thing. And it's a way to like get out in nature and still let nature be nature. It's not bulldozing a whole forest and pouring a bunch of concrete and creating a bunch of ramps. It's actually going, okay, we're going to go out into the nature. We're going to like ride the trail and see where we can put a ramp. And then we're going to make it very minimal, very small. We're going to make it kind of like blend in. And then we're going to use the natural stuff that's around and it's going to be fine. And everybody's going to love it. And yes, I love that. Still not doing it. Oh my God, you found some arcieoracola YouTube vids. Yeah, so Cooking Good was the show I did way back in public access. I did this with Shasta Cola, my sister, and cameraman, my ex, and we did this show for 5 years. It ran from 2006-ish. Like we taped in 2005. I think we taped our first one in December of 2004. But 2005 is when we really started, and then we did that for 5 years till about 2010, January. And some of those episodes were uploaded into YouTube, not on this channel. It's a channel, what's it called? CameraCola. CameraCola is the channel, all one word. And this is back when YouTube would not let you upload things bigger than a certain length. Like you couldn't do a whole hour. So it's in 10-minute chunks, and it's not even close to all of the repertoire that we have. Like it's just a few of the shows because cameraman was very lazy about uploading shit. It took a lot of time, and he was just lazy in general. So we did well over 100 episodes, 1 hour-ish episodes of Cooking Good, plus a few bonus things in the 5 years that we worked together. And a lot of that will probably never see the light of day, which is probably for the best because I don't think a lot of it would actually be okay today, if you catch my drift. But there's a few on YouTube, so have fun with that. There's also a few old OraColas on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/theOraCola, this is just like maybe 2 or 3 of the shows that we taped in the public access studio that I did after Cooking Good. So, yeah. There's things, and there's also like random videos of me doing drag shows. Like if you just like Google arcieola, you can find some random videos. Some of them might be explicit, so don't like watch them at work. But yeah, there's more of me out there. It's not just this. This is more of a throwback. Okay. Oh, self-help hat. Oh, we got a question. P&G. What should I focus on in October? Well, how did the digital detox go? I remember you said it wasn't going very well. So let's see if this one's a little easier to follow. Oh, this one's fun. I don't think we've ever had this one before. Listen to music. Listen to music. So, yeah, it's going to be crazy out there. The astrology is going to be tense. The world's going to be tenser. There's all kind of craziness flying around. But music is always a salve for the soul, I think. If you're in a mood, you can find music to lift your spirits. You can find music to, like, match your spirits if you want to wallow in that shit for an evening. You know, I've been known to do it. I'll put on some goth shit and I'll like get kind of drunk and then just like cry and dance and spin around, and then I feel better. We all got to get it out. Or maybe you got some ecstatic energy, some joy that you want to do. So music. I think you should get into that music. Maybe find some new music. Check it out. You never know. You might like it. Yes. Oh, digital detox for 4 days only. Well, you can always work up to it. They say it's like any kind of fast. You have to work up to it. You got to go a little bit until you get used to that, and then you got to go there, and it's a mental game. But yes, 4 days is pretty good. Music. All right. I think I have answered all of the questions that came through. Just going to scroll up here one more time. Yep. All right, y'all. Well, it has been a lovely evening with you guys. The last evening that I will do this show in September 2021, and the next time I will be here, it will be October 2021. Oh my God, I cannot believe this shit. Yes. So please, next week, set your alarms, set your Google Calendar or whatever you use to 9 p.m. Central Time, and YouTube channel arcieoracola. We will be back here doing this live, and I love you all. I love you guys. Always show up for me. We always have a good time, and yes, it doesn't matter how shitty October is. We will get through it because we love each other. All right. Love y'all. Have a good evening.